All right, so maintenance is your happy place. This is where you should spend most of your life. I had said 90%, kind of depends on the person, depends on the goal, but moral of the story, a very, very, very long time or a good portion of your life should be in maintenance. Maintenance is important for optimal health. This is where you're going to have the best metabolism, best hormones, as far as happy, healthy hormones, thyroid health, all the things as far as feeling good and healthy. And maintenance calories are based off your total daily energy expenditure, which we had talked about in week 1, I believe. But it's basically your BMR, so like how many calories your body needs to live, plus any activity that you do, which could be related to your occupation, your lifestyle, your workouts, things like that. Okay, so how is it calculated? Kind of just what I said. It's your BMR plus any activity that you are doing throughout the day. So it could be, depending on your occupation. So I think of like me, I'm sitting at a desk all day. My husband's a teacher. He is moving around a lot more. He's on his feet, or like a waitress or somebody like that. A carpenter, you know what I mean? Somebody that's moving around all day. We have, different activity for the day. And then also how much you work out. I mean, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. There could be somebody that's going 5 times a week. So it just kind of depends on how active you are. Okay, so this is how you calculate your maintenance calories, and this is on your homework for the week. And just to point out that this is an estimate of your calorie needs. So it's not a perfect science, and that's why when you guys are calculating it, it's going to be a range. And really to like nail down that like exact number, I guess you could do it, but if you think about how our bodies work, it's not like we're burning like an exact number of calories every single day. And if you think about it, we have different energy needs from day to day. I mean, even based on like our menstrual cycles, there are like certain times of the month where like you need more energy. And then of course there are days where you're super duper active and other days that you sit on the couch all day. So like to have like a specific number in mind, I just don't think you need to like hit that number as far as like tracking or anything. So that's why I think it's nice to have a range of calories to aim for every day. And I do think that kind of like takes the stress out of things. So basically there are 2 ways to do it. And I recommend both because it does give you like a range of calories and an idea where you want to be. So you're going to take your body weight, multiply it by 13, and then take your body weight and multiply it by 16. So that's kind of like the low end of calories and the high end of calories. You can also multiply it by 14 or 15. I'll show you on the next slide. It kind of gives you a little more guidance. And then I always have people go to this tdeecalculator.net. It's a great place to get a calculation as well. And it's like a cross check. It's like, okay, let's see where my initial calculation is, and let's see where this TDEE points me as far as calories. So these are the multipliers. So the low end would be like if you had a sedentary job, you're working out 1 to 3 times a week. And again, this is, up to you how you decide, how this fits. You could even use like 13.5 or 14.5, you can kind of figure out where you lay as far as your overall calorie needs. But I always have people do the low end and the high end just to give them a range. 14 would be if you had a sedentary job, you work out 2 to 4 times a week. That's where I put myself. I was like, I'm mostly sitting on my butt in front of a computer, but I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. 15 is like if you had that like semi active job, like a teacher, hairdresser, somebody where you're just on your feet all day and you're working out, 3 to 5 times a week. You could even do like 2 to 4. I think that's fine too. And then 16 would be an active job, like you're a waitress, manual labor, athlete, somebody who's training for an endurance event, like a half marathon or a marathon. Honestly, if you're training for a marathon or half marathon, you probably need to eat more than that. But just kind of depends. And then I put this example here. So this is me, like I'm 140 pounds. I'm probably in this range here, 14, as far as like my activity level, puts me at 1960, which, it's kind of like in the middle of where I am. And then I did the range. So low end is 1820, high end is 2240. That's like a perfect range. That's kind of where I'm eating most days of the week. And then I did a little cross check with the TDE calculator, put me at, 2063. So kind of like right in the middle. So it just gives you a range of where you should be. So again, like being in maintenance, I think you have that wiggle room. Like you're not focusing on like a specific goal. You're just trying to be healthy. You're working out. You could obviously build muscle. You could even technically lose fat in maintenance, but you just don't have a specific goal in mind. And this is like where you want to be as far as having a healthy metabolism, healthy hormones. But again, I think having the range is really helpful because The only way to know if it's truly your maintenance is to track calories and just see what happens with the scale. Because like if you plug in, 2240 and start tracking your calories for, 2 or 3 weeks and you gain weight, then, maybe that's a little bit over, your maintenance. Or on the flip side, if you start tracking and you're closer to the 1820 and you lose weight, your maintenance might be a little bit higher. But really, like that's the only way to know. I mean, there's really not like an exact science to this. And really, it just comes down to consistency with the tracking and things like that. But again, like being in maintenance, it can just be your happy place. Like you don't have to be as, strict or hardcore with the tracking as you would be with a cut or a reverse. Bulking is very, very loose as well, too.